It is Space Quest 1, the Sarin Encounter in colors on the Macintosh. I even wanted to say 16 colors, but it actually looks like there's a bit more color depth to it when you get into the game. You're just going to have to imagine the... Dun-da-da.
I don't want to spoil this ahead of time, but when we get to Eulent's Flats, are we getting purple sky or orange sky or some heretofore unseen sky?
I was just about to... I was just thinking, should I mention that beforehand?
Save it. Surprise me. Surprise me.
You will be probably both surprised and a little disappointed, I fear.
Sweet. That's the best kind of surprise.
That's the best kind. So this is the intro, which is, again, in this magnificent font. You'll notice that the menu bar on top is a little different from the black and white version. I'm not sure if that's because this disk image is a later version of the same Mac game. In the old one, there was just a verb and a do it, I believe. But this one has verb modifier noun.
Hey, Shy Moth Boy. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, all.
Howdy, everyone.
What is this? These command lines? Exclamation mark lurk. I don't know how Twitch works. What is that actually supposed to do?
I don't know that it does anything so much as just signal, hey, I'm here and won't be participating in chat, but just know that I'm around. That's how I've always taken it to be. But honestly, after 2 years, I still feel like I don't know anything about Twitch either, so I could be wrong.
You understand it better than I do. Last time, and I've been doing it for many years, but last time I streamed, people were like, can we use our tokens for something? I was like, tokens? What the hell's a token? Bits. And I don't know what that is. Leave me alone. I just want to play games. Well, welcome to the color version. It's now black text on a white background.
That's great. Yeah, no. Does this happen out of engine? Like, is this dropping into some sort of like part of the Mac OS? Because I mean, it just doesn't feel like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like AGI the way the screen is rendered.
It really doesn't. I don't know. It's it just runs in this window, and I will get into the game momentarily. There we go. Welcome aboard the Arcada. Hit the wrong key, and now we are Roger Wilco. And as you can see, he actually has a bit of a flesh tone feel to him.
Wow.
And
yeah, Shamath Boy, the fonts are magnificent in this. I couldn't agree more.
All right, let's chug up the animation speed here for a bit. There you go. Off you scoot, me old boy. Now, in the original disk image, there's actually copy protection. There's a disk copy protection. I think it's... I'm not exactly sure how it works. I think it checks the disk image, and if you have a copy disk, it'll just refuse to run. But there's actually a backdoor cheat code, which is, if memory serves, you have to try "Forgive Me, Ken," and it'll bypass the copy protection. This disk image has been cracked essentially, so there's no copy protection. So I didn't get to show you that. All right, and here we have the lovely drop-down menus. I'm trying to control this with the mouse, as apparently the Mac gods intended. Terribly.
Ooh, I already see a purple for orange palette swap. I'm pretty excited about where this is heading.
Yes. Well, I think the surprise is that particular space cat is out of the bag now. We shall not be seeing the purple yonder. We shall, however, be seeing this man dancing a weird jitterbug. Yes.
There's nothing that makes me happier than just Space Quest 1. It really is just my comfort game. I love it so much.
Oh, it is. It is absolute. It's digital comfort food.
Yes.
I played this a couple of nights ago. My wife's laptop just curled up in bed with the screen recorder running, and it was just... Could have gone to bed with it, but I didn't. So, briefly, I bet people are wondering what is up with the drop-down menus. This pseudo point-and-click interface here, which is basically just shortcuts to different parser commands. You cannot finish the game with any degree of success by using those exclusively, because they're
no.
They're just real shortcut, like this look message. One thing that's interesting, though, and we'll get to that in a very short while, is the inventory/status window, which is a kind of a useful shortcut. Mouse control, however, is not. There's no pathfinding around objects. Roger just walks in a blind straight line, and if he hits an object, he just stops.
Perfect. I watched a stream recently of someone playing Space Quest 1 for the first time, and my impression was they didn't have a lot of experience with Sierra Adventures in general. And everything about the cartridge retrieval system and the scientist coming in and everything else was just utterly perplexing to them. I think they spent about 45 minutes trying to work around that. And part of it was just parser stuff, like look at stream, get cartridge, all those sorts of basic commands. I think were kind of eluding them because it's fairly specific in terms of what it wants there.
Very.
And then just in general, like they would trigger the scientist on one save, but the next time they came through, they wouldn't successfully trigger the scientist or remember, coming and going was what did it. And I felt for them. They didn't want any back seating, but really just wanted to be able to grab a hold of my monitor. It's like, no, I can help you through this. There's so much better parts of this game waiting for you.
Oh, here's the status window. Now you can just use key card with a click of a button instead of having to type it in.
Wow. Use it.
It is sort of useful, but really not. And yes, this opening, we're just breezing through it at this point because we've played it a million times, but it's, man, oh man. Yeah, poor scientist dude. And also in the chat, Mr. T-Wolf says, I'm wondering how Roger got such a severe sunburn in space. I think there is some palette swapping going on here.
Well, and also in space, you're closer to the sun.
Yeah,
so it makes perfect sense. On a planet, you're just that much farther away from the sun. I'm sure. Don't think too hard about that. But
no.
In theory, I think that holds up.
In Roger's world, there is only 16 colors. And yeah.
The real question is, how do you get a sunburn when the sun's dying?
True. Maybe that's why everyone has like a really good tan, is because everyone is just outside catching the last rays they can before the sun goes booming.
That's right. That's my new headcanon.
And it isn't until fairly late into this playthrough that I realized that you can just hold down the mouse button and he'll just follow the mouse around. At this point, I'm still just clicking places and having him sort of just walk around things. And now I'm trying to figure out which one of these verbs will let me enter the escape pod. Climb into ship?
Yep.
It works.
I'm impressed by that, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Revel in this blissful moment of success, because every other ship you encounter, the skimmer and the other the ship that you buy in Yulin's Flats, it doesn't recognize climb into ship for those, for reasons. Now, of course, everyone is disappointed at this point that I hit the auto nav and not the do not touch button. Don't worry, we'll get back to the don't touch button.
I hope it takes you to some awesome Mac Venture game. I want to go to Deja Vu instead of Key's Quest 1.
Right. Oh, that would be great. This font is weird.
Yeah.
Imagine this with sound. Now there was actually there was digital sound on the Macintosh, so all the sound effects you got from the Apple IIgs version were also in this version. I think. Don't hold me to that.
Are there any of these non-standard Space Quest 1 versions that you like especially? Are there any that stand out as one that you really enjoy?
Oh, this one definitely, because it is such an anomaly. Climb out ship. That's not even a phrase. Nope, doesn't compute.
That doesn't compute. Yeah.
And as you can see, orange sky.
There it is.
There it is. Orange sky. Now it is purple in the original DOS version and not in this. Now in the Amiga version, it's also orange. And spoiler, in neither this version nor the Amiga version did they change the off into the purple yonder line. It's intact. But yeah, to answer your question, this one is just all shades of mind-boggling to me because, it is a proto point-and-click interface at a time when computer mice weren't even like it was an extra peripheral you had to go out and get if you were rich enough. You didn't need it technically. So this is just astounding to me.
Hey, the Blakery. Welcome in. Ahoy.
Welcome. Ahoy.
Glad
from
you
the
could join us.
So which is your favorite? I know there's versions for the Atari ST and for the Amiga. And am I missing any? Apple II?
I don't know. I guess I've had less experience probably across them. I have yeah, my dog's in the background, isn't he? Hey,
Whoa.
Ben.
Hey, pups.
But yeah, I think that the black and white Mac version is so just strange to me, and the starkness of the monochrome graphics really strike me. And you got all the weirdness of the point and click element too. It may be my favorite. I've gotten to the point where I really like the orange sky. It was so jarring to me the first time I experienced it, but I guess I played the Amiga version of probably 6 months ago or so on stream, and the orange sky really clicked for me. So I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, you kind of get the idea that it was supposed to have an orange sky, and then the purple yonder line was just Scott at 2 a.m. going, "Why is the sky purple?" And here comes one of my favorite secret deaths. You can only trigger that on this screen. You just have to stand here for a while, and then custom animation and everything.
I don't know if I know about this one.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Something traveling through the atmosphere at a very high rate of speed.
Okay, there we go. Yes.
Yep. For some reason, they put this death on this screen and this screen only. And at this point, I'm just like, you know what? It's a pity we didn't press the do not touch button. So, first of all, we just have to see if we can actually move him around.
The Blakery asks, what's the trail mix situation like in space? I don't know if you saw this, but I was recently canceled for some bad opinions about trail mix on my stream. Specifically, I said M&Ms and other sweet elements don't belong in trail mix. Now, I don't know what a Danish perspective on trail mix looks like, but I would tread lightly if you have strong opinions about it, because I was nearly chased off the internet.
Wow. Well, I'm terribly sorry to hear that. Cancel culture is a bitch, isn't it? We don't.
It came for me. It was going to eventually.
We don't really do trail mix here. We don't actually have like big hiking grounds, mountains, and stuff like that. If we get lost in the wilderness, then there's always a cow we can tip over and drink. It's not really a priority around here. And
gotcha.
as for Roger, I mean, he's up shit's creek because all he's got is a water bottle.
A dehydrated water bottle at that.
Yes. By the way, it occurs to me, beyond the plant that you can pick up, Roger doesn't eat anything throughout the entire game. He subsists entirely on liquids. Water, then beer.
Uh-oh. Are you leaving behind the gadget?
Well, in this case, I know I'm gonna pooch it anyway.
Okay, you're do not touching. Okay, yes.
We are restraining the touching. Wait, what?
Do you just eat nuts and dried fruits separately? Yeah, I mean, if they aren't mixed together in a trail mix, how do you consume your nuts and dried fruits?
I don't know. Personally, I hate dried fruits. I know. Hot take.
Wow.
I'm
Uh-oh.
Here it comes. I like my nuts salty, and that's about as much as I'll say about that. Careful.
You see, I made a very strong play for saltiness too, and that's where they got me.
Oh,
Please don't touch.
I think it's a pineapple pizza type situation. Ken, did you hear something?
I love how many more alligators are in the moat in the Space Quest version of King's Quest 1.
Which is something I didn't really realize until I played the first King's Quest game, which of course came very late in my life. This moat is really treacherous. Like in the first one, it's just a single alligator pissing back and forth. In the remake, it's a giant sort of sea slug kind of thing that grabs you out of the water.
So now that you've had the full King's Quest experience, what do you think of the franchise? What's your take?
if I get into hot water for trail mix, I'm not gonna dip my toe into the King's Quest. Because that way madness lies. But I will say, it's gotten to the point where it's in my collection.
Oh wow! Ooh, that's very nice. I'm jealous of that one.
And also the first.
Yeah.
So basically,
that's the version I had.
I actually went on a mission to because now I have all the Space Quest boxes. They're lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I went on a mission to find all the worst versions of King's Quest. So the this one here is the Amiga version, and I have the King's Quest V with the Graham
kidnapping the children. Yes,
child napper.
That's also the version I had, and boy, I hated that box art.
And also the NES version of King's Quest V.
Now, you know I'm a big defender of the NES version of King's Quest V. I love that game.
I'm impressed that they went ahead with it and actually got it to fit on a cartridge, but it was not fun to play.
I mean, it is a little bit of a chore. If you don't know what you're supposed to be doing and don't already know what everything is supposed to look like if that were your first version of King's Quest V, I think it would be maddening.
Yes.
But as someone who kind of knows King's Quest V already, I'm just impressed that you could get anything that resembles King's Quest V onto an NES card.
Yes, definitely. And that they sort of retained the point and click style thing.
Yeah.
Which actually works better than it does here in Space Quest 1.
All right, here we are. The Coronian Underground.
Yeah, and you get to do long file names. Now, at this point, you see, I'm stuck in the elevator. I'm trying to click my way out of the elevator, but it's very picky because, again, he doesn't walk around obstacles. He just stops dead in his... Oh, for fuck's sake. So at this point, we're switching to arrow keys because screw it. And I did have to test because one screen over, accidentally clicked out of the, because it runs in a window. Accidentally clicked, and it'll happen again, and just, there you go. Do you like the fish? The fish loves you.
Tattoo.pdf.
Yes. I don't want to know why my wife has a PDF called Tattoo that's of a fish, but she doesn't have a tattoo of a fish, as far as I know. Right, but on the other side of the grate here, there's a message on the geyser, or with the geyser, that is only in version 2 and above, and I'm about to type it in now. Anything for a thrill, eh? So that's how we know we're playing a later revision of the game. Which is good, because that means the cheat code in the slot machine also works.
Now that is important.
Yes. But hey,
Roger.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say the acid pool is purple.
Ooh.
So we've actually got
There's
purple.
That lovely purple. Roger edging his way along the wall at the Great Monster,
yes,
I think was one of the most mind-blowing things in a video game I'd ever experienced up to this point. That custom animation for that bit just blew my mind as a kid.
Oh, it's so good. And there's
this is exactly how far I got in this game too. The day I bought it, or the day I received it for my 10th birthday.
Yes.
I played directly after this bit, didn't have the glass, didn't find it for like a year or more later. It just was dead stuck at this point in Space Quest 1.
Oh god. And I every time I hear that story, my heart bleeds. Christ with a C. I'm stuck behind the fucking wall now. If you walk up to the ship and look at, or the escape shuttle and look at it, it does say something shiny catches your eye.
Yes.
But I mean, if this was our first adventure game, oh god, the acid drops. I'm about to attempt the acid drops with the mouse. Predictable results. Oh, Dan, in the chat, I kind of like this version by first glance. I'm intrigued. Yes. Few eyes have gazed upon this beauty. There we go again. Since 1987. This is running the Macintosh version in color, which is something that most, if not all, current Mac emulators are unable to. But this is an experimental Mac emulator build that was graciously handed to me by a person who told me that they would hunt me down and kill me if I shared it with anyone, but they didn't say anything about me recording the game and showing it to everyone.
I would love to know what the sales were like for these Macintosh versions. Like, I know Sierra mentioned them here and there in like its newsletters and things like that, but certainly never felt like there was a big marketing push behind them.
No, and certainly nothing mentioning the astounding interface that
No,
is
like you'd
only
think
in
that'd
this
be something
version.
you could, yeah, like really hype up. You know, if you were, and I guess maybe it's because, as far as I can tell, these were developed completely externally. Like it looks like from the credits, it's maybe the work of one person, as far as I can tell. I don't know for sure, but
Probably.
yeah, you know, it makes me wonder if just they didn't have enough financial stake in it to bother making a big deal out of. But yeah, you'd think for a company so intent on innovation and more importantly, talking about all the innovations they were making. Sierra was never shy about that sort of thing. That they would have been all over talking about, you know, we've got this miraculous point and click interface, because they weren't shy about saying that when King's Quest V came along.
Absolutely not. And it's weird because the other ports to other systems of the time that also had mouse support did nothing of the sort. The Amiga version, yeah, you can click around, but you can't. I mean, that's all. He'll just move around. There's no like drop down menus and any of that stuff. Same with the Atari ST version. You have a little mouse pointer, so you can move him around, but that's it. Otherwise, it's the same game. But this is just weird.
That was some expert spider droid manipulation.
Thank you. Oh, someone's mind got absolutely blown when we did. I can't remember if it was Space Quest the movie or if it was the Space Quest Olympics last year, but instead of walking all the way around the rocks and all the way down to the cave and leading the spider droid, you can just go south, then go a little to the right, and then go up again.
Yeah, I never do that. I do the long route. I had no idea this will help my world record pace in the future.
The speed running community.
That's right. You know, I held the StairQuest speed running record for like 72 hours or something. That was kind of exciting. Then someone like cut my time by 80% or so. Have you seen some of the StairQuest speed runs? They are unbelievable.
I really should. What strikes me as a little odd is that you would find such pride in having the StairQuest speed run, given that you fucking made the thing.
Well, you know, I don't think there's any rule that says you can't speedrun your own game. But I will say, the person who has the record, I think it's like, I'd have to look back. I think it's sub 4 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, you've got to see this thing. I mean, it's like fastest keystroke keystroke perfect. It is unbelievable.
Oh, God. Even when playtesting it, we were just, oh, God. Yeah, we got pretty good at it, too. But 4 minutes, no. Couldn't do it in 4 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's just mind-boggling to watch it go down.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm surprised you can even walk to the top and the bottom that quickly.
Oh, God. I mean, the one level that always trips me up, beyond the cat level, obviously, is the otherwise innocuous Black Cauldron level with the diagonal stairs.
That aren't quite 45 degrees.
Exactly. Oh. Good, they hurt. If anyone's wondering, by the way, why I'm not fiddling around with the pool, it's because that death everyone loves so much is not in the EGA version. You know, the two guys coming out on the screen start drawing little football commentary. Let's see that again. That's not in this version. Sorry.
We can't go on living that way.
No. We even yes. You have no head. We even check the code. If there's anything you can do with the pool, there is nothing. You can't even drink it. You can't die from it. You can't dip in it. You can't do nothing. Interestingly, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say Arcooney in the chat is mentioning that they pushed the rock onto the spider and threw the dehydrated water at the Orat. That's definitely how I did it on my first playthrough. It wasn't until I'm pretty sure I accidentally triggered the Orat spider droid confrontation the first time it happened for me, but definitely I was a dehydrated water and rock guy to start out.
Oh, absolutely. Me too. I think that's the main way everyone does it. I think I might even have looked at a walkthrough to discover that you could do the alternate thing, and I think it gives you more points, but I'm not entirely sure. Every time I start mentioning points, everyone just goes, actually. So I've sort of stopped. And there's every once in a blue moon, someone will comment on one of the Space Quest primers that I did, where I show like all of the Space Quest games in 10 minutes or less, especially Space Quest 2, where I don't finish with full points. And someone goes, only 213 out of 230, or however many it is, 250, I think. And I go, yeah, that's not really what the video was about.
That's what the cheat code is for anyway. That way you can finish with 255 out of 250.
255 out of 250. You're the most bitchin' adventure gamer ever.
Absolutely. No, every time I play Space Quest 2, I come up like 5, 10, or 15 points short. And I know it's some of those areas with like the multiple solutions, like the throw rock at guard with jock strap kind of stuff, and a few other places where there are differences like that. And I think there's some messages here and there in Valhalla's Fortress or his asteroid that maybe drop 5 points for you and stuff. But yeah, every time I've played it on stream, I've come up a few points short, and I've gotten to the point, especially in Space Quest 2, it's just like, shrug. I have no idea what happened.
Screw it. Exactly. Some of the things you have to do in Space Quest 1 to get full points is also batshit insane. We can still hold Ken Williams responsible for some of the things you have to do aboard the Delta to get full points. We'll get to that. I actually don't know if I finished this with full points. I don't think I do, but close enough.
Now, is that hot up-and-coming game designer Ken Williams that you're talking about?
Yes! Fresh face, new developer on the horizon, Ken Williams. I think he had something to his credit before that, but I don't know. Time forgot.
Yeah, I mean, that was years ago.
Yeah, years ago. Years ago. Oh, Arakuni says, one of these Space Quest games, I found out some way to get one more point than the maximum. This is actually that Space Quest game. And I try to trigger it later down the line, but I am unable to because I'm an idiot and I mess up the order. But apparently, spoiler, once you get to the Deltor, you're supposed to either hide in a trunk or climb through the air vents. But you can do both, and it'll reward you with an extra point if you do both, which you're not supposed to be able to do. Oh, here we go. Climb into ship. It's got to work a second time, right?
Will it work? Will it work?
Will it work? No.
Nah. It's worth a try.
Screw it.
I will say kudos to you for sticking with the interface longer than I did. Like, I think I was probably, by the time I found the key card on Jerry, I was already done with messing around with the point and click part of it.
Like let's just do this the way God intended. And at least I'm not using the walk menu for anything. Like you can pick.
I can't imagine trying to control the game like that. Bananas.
I mean, so for those of you who don't know, I'm not using it in this playthrough, but the walk menu just has left, right, up, down, up, left, up, right, like diagonals and stuff, and he just moves. And the middle one is just called stop. Now you can technically control Roger with this. Oh God, this. I
know you have a bunch of mad scientists in your Discord. You should ask one of them to like rig up a voice activated version of those commands.
Oh my God!
Left, stop. Right, up, stop.
Oh God, that would be horrible. Oh, that would be so horrible. And even better, we open up the Discord voice channel so everyone has a go. It's like a room full of people just shouting left, right, stop. This sequence goes on for quite a while. I don't know if you noticed, the mouse pointer has now disappeared from the screen, and that's because if you try to use the mouse pointer to move the skimmer around, it'll only recognize a click if you're like dead center in the invisible walkable area of this skimmer. So if you just click around the screen, he does nothing. Now I'm trying to use the tried and true bypass by just sticking to the left side of the screen trick.
Does this work? I've never tried this method.
You can get lucky.
Yeah,
I don't.
I, I always just play straight up skimmer. This is one of my superpowers, much like Astro Chicken.
That's right. You are the skimmer master, which means that what is about to unfold before you will be very painful indeed. This takes quite a long way. Eventually, I just start save scumming this. If you like, we can skip this.
I like watching the pain of a bad skimmer run.
Oh no. No, it's how did I dodge that one?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yo, I'm just, look at this, still going. Look at this, still going. We're up to 34 minutes in, still going. 35, still going, and save scumming at this point because fuck it. Let's see. Oh, there we go.
Hey, Yulen's Flats.
Almost there. Save. Oh, wait. Restore. Because at this point, I was just like, every time I hit a rock, restore. And I think just after this save.
Now, I am definitely one of those people who took about 25 years before the Yulen's Flats wordplay ever clicked with me. How long did it take you before you got the joke there?
Much, much longer. In fact, I'm not entirely sure how it clicked. I think I was like vacuuming or something, and I was just idly thinking about different planet names in Space Quest, like oh those puns in Space Quest 5 sure are fun. I wonder if the other planet names mean anything. Corona, I know that was the two guys' favorite beer at the time. Yeah. What else we got? Magmetheus. I don't think it means anything.
Flea butt, like the idea of a
yeah.
flea's butt. Polysorbate 60, the food additive.
Yes.
But yes, Yulen's Flats took me until just like very, very recently. I ran a Space Quest fan site for years without it ever clicking. I must have written Yulen's Flats 9,000 times.
Yeah. I think it was just me vacuuming and just going, Yulen's Flats. It sounds weird and made up because obviously it's a play on the Mos Eisley, which also just sounds weird and alienish. But then it just went, what happens if you switch the words around? Or you get flatulent. Oh.
I think I was also calling it Ullant's Flats for the longest time, which maybe had obscured it in my brain. Like I think I was imagining that was more of an sound than a sound.
Yeah, it wasn't until I played Space Quest 4, the CD-ROM version, where Gary pronounced it Yulen's Flats. Oh, Moral Recording says, I only got Kiss Your Ass Goodbye after someone else pronounced it properly.
It's very good. It's a shame that game wasn't a talkie. Because Kiss Your Ass Goodbye is, I will say it's hard. I mean, you want to pronounce that last bit, I think, for me, like Gooby, which, I don't know. But yeah, that one's pretty great. Oh, and LL Mika just learned about the Yulen's Flats flatulence joke, which I will say every time I've ever streamed Space Quest 1, there are always people in the chat who it's just clicking for that time. Yep. Now, granted, I have no excuse. I spent way too much of my life thinking about Space Quest to have not gotten it sooner. I mean, it's fair to say I've thought about Space Quest more than the average human being. Maybe including the people who created Space Quest.
I think between the two of us, there's some sort of Space Quest brain trust.
Yes.
Which is probably why we both married very late in life. But anyway.
Perhaps.
But this is around the point where I discovered that you could hold down the mouse button and he'll just follow it around like a cat in a laser pointer. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. The planet names in Space Quest 5, I mean, they're all puns and such, but there's one of them that always confuses the hell out of people, and that's the Lucas Suck 2 with a Z, which everyone thinks is a dig at LucasArts. Because, it kind of looks like it. Lucas sucks. Haha. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's a reference to a guy who worked at Dynamics. His last name was Lucas Suck. Pretty good name to have, I feel.
Yeah, I had this conversation, I think, the last time I played Space Quest 3 about Scumsoft and people thinking that was probably Lucas Arts takeoff with the Scum system. And I mean, my read on it is, doesn't Scott say that was just like a make believe software company he made up and even had like business cards printed for at some point?
Yep.
Also, I'm just not sure, honestly, even though I guess Maniac Mansion was out, people weren't talking about the Scum engine in a way that like we know it today. It was the name of the engine, but it wasn't like that was what Lucas Arts games were famous for yet.
No.
So yeah, I mean, if anything, Scumsoft's clearly him bagging on Sierra.
Yes.
Maybe with a dash of Microsoft thrown in. But yeah.
and that's true. He did have like business cards made up with Scumsoft before ever doing Space Quest 3. It was just a little fun thing of his.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What luck. 3 diamonds right off the bat.
Oh, yeah. It keeps going. Now, the thing with this version is it doesn't show you what the different numbers mean. Like if you play this in AGI, the bottom says 1 is cherries, 2 is diamonds, something. It doesn't here. It just expects you to know, which I do. You'll also notice I'm interchanging different swear words. Yes. The mad scientists. Yes. The mad scientists on the S-Coast Discord actually went into, in fact, our mutual friend Kevin Wallace went into the code to find the synonym list for everything that the parser recognizes as swear words. Your usual suspects are in there, of course. Fuck, shit. But also fart.
Fart. The dirtiest of all words.
The dirtiest of all words. And
Permit Winner asks if LucasArts made Scum. What does Scum stand for? It's was it script creation utility for Maniac Mansion?
Yes, script creation utility for Maniac Mansion. But it wasn't until I think Monkey Island 1, which was 1990, if I remember correctly, that it made its way into the popular vernacular with the Scum bar and all that, and people went, "What the hell is Scum?" It's the engine that runs it. So yeah. Maniac Mansion was 1987, Space Quest 3 was 1989, but as you say, game engine names weren't really like interesting to people. Now
in an era of like Scum VM, I think some of us think, a LucasArts game equals Scum. And at the time, I don't know if that was nearly as common of an association.
No. And also, the people who made Scum VM, first of all, if we want to talk mad geniuses, holy shit.
Yes.
But secondly, at this point, they must be regretting naming the interpreter Scum VM, because now it just plays any old DOS game under the sun, and some Windows 95 games as well.
Gosh, it's fantastic. I mean, Scum VM is just, talk about getting these old games into, the hands of people that may never play them otherwise, because even as marvelous as DOSBox is, it's not a terribly simple experience. I mean, you can get some gooey front ends for DOSBox that make it a little bit better, but even nowadays, when I'm trying to do anything, like mounting a CD-ROM drive in DOSBox, I'm having to look up tutorials and stuff like that to make it happen. Scum VM, it's a lifesaver.
Every single time I have to do something with an ISO or everything, CD-ROMs, God. Yeah, I have to look up the DOSBox wiki. What I will say for DOSBox is that if you want a more authentic DOS experience with all the caveats, but also all the perks that comes with that, of course, you want to go with DOSBox. For instance, if you want to play the CD-ROM version of Space Quest 4 and be absolutely unable to beat it, run it in DOSBox with your cycles set a bit too high.
If you want to authentically hate Space Quest 4, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. Oh, we have to go get our droid.
Have a droid to load.
Oh. Now this droid, when we did the Space Quest 1 movie, which you gracefully provided probably the best voice performance in, I have to say. We gave the robot a voice too. Oh, by the way, this little Easter egg of taking a leak behind the building is also version 2.0 and onwards. And I'm doing it an embarrassing a lot of times because I know there are 3 random messages, but I can only get 2 of them to appear. So just lean back as I piss all over this building. But in the movie, we voiced the robot and gave it this sort of chipper, excited, like little puppy dog kind of voice that our mutual friend Amberly Johnson provided, and she was so good at it. But what most people don't realize is you can actually talk to the robot in the game, and that's where we got most of its quote unquote annoying dialogue from. But we actually got the name of the robot wrong.
Oh no!
Yeah, it turns out because we keep calling it Nav 11, or at least we did in the script. And as we're writing the Space Quest 2 movie script, we also still call it Nav 11, but that's the name it's given in the VGA remake. I only figured this out a couple of days ago when I was playing this version and actually looked at the droid. It introduces itself under a different name.
I definitely imagine this to be a very chipper, like eager to please character. That's how it always existed in my head.
That's adorable too. Oh, Moral Recording says, currently working to get Macromedia Director stuff running in it. I presume we mean Scum VM. Oh, getting Macromedia Directors or anything done in Macromedia, that means a lot of games from the quote-unquote dark ages of adventure gaming. Windows 95 onwards, stuff like Frankenstein Through the Eyes of the Monster and all those QuickTime VR games. That means they was... Could you move? Yeah. Whoops. Well, at least I'm being polite in the parser. So back to cursor keys again. Oh, here we go. Now we're going to have a nice little chat with the droid. Hello. Speak to.
Definitely the command everyone would use. Speak to.
QR7 pilot droid. I don't know what QR stands for. I mean, we all know what a QR code is these days, but they were certainly not around in 1986 and 7 when this was made.
Quality reassurance. When quality assurance isn't enough.
I'll take it. That's as good as anything I can come up with. And that whole thing with people say I talk too much. Do you think I talk too much? I think maybe I talk too much. I'm going to shut up now. All from the game. Straight from the game. Right, off into the sort of purple, but not really yonder we go. And here, check out this text box alignment.
Graphic design is my passion.
Yes. At least we put a background in so you can kind of read what it says.
That helps a little, yeah.
Well done! Endless desert, spider droids, obnoxious sailmen, bad booze. Sand and boots, everything. Oh, we'll have to come back.
I love this game. I just love it. I love the breaking it up of, escaping the Arcada to Corona to the Deltar. Gosh, my brain went blank there for a moment. It's just such a well-paced game. I think this was probably the second Sierra game I played after King's Quest II. And King's Quest II is just such... I love it, but it's such a random mishmash of ideas just sort of crammed together. And all of a sudden you're riding a fish into the great purple yonder and things like that.
Oh, I have so many questions.
Yeah. This game, feels like it has a beginning, middle, and end. And that's kind of nice, whereas King's Quest II is paced in a unique fashion.
Yes. I mean, I got to give the first two King's Quest games and partially the third props for having this open world that's, completely open to you from the start that you can explore, and fills me with great amounts of anxiety. Because I never know where to go, and also random encounters that are there just to fuck up your day.
And screens that do absolutely nothing, and all those other sorts of,
But Space Quest is more of a linear story. You go from point A to point B to point C, and you're usually chased. Yeah. Like if you don't get your ass moving, something is usually after you.
That's something, that I've mentioned on stream, playing King's Quest II for the first time, and really a lot of these early Sierra games. I mean, this really was the equivalent of something close to an open world game. You get dropped in King's Quest II and you're literally just staying on a beach and you can kind of go anywhere and just explore as you see fit. Given the technology of the time, I feel like that's as close as you get to an open world game. Again, Space Quest 1 is a little bit more linear in that regard, but I kind of love that King's Quest 2. I mean, you have your mission, what you're supposed to do, find a wife, and from there she's like, well, good luck, here you are on the beach, figure out where to go. And as a kid, that just blew my mind. I'd only played like Atari 2600 games and stuff like that up to that point. And the idea of a game that just gave you that sort of freedom was hard to imagine for me at age 9 or whatever.
Oh yeah. And the reason why it fills me with anxiety is because, and this is also why people keep telling me I need to play Quest for Glory games, and I'm like, anytime I see stats, anytime I see anything where I have so much freedom, I get paralyzed with anxiety because I'm deathly afraid I'm going to miss out on something, or I'm going to corner myself into a situation that I can't escape from, and I have to replay vast bits of the game. Which I guess... Oh, have you ever tried that, actually, getting in the robot's face?
No.
He just sort of scoots you a foot and a half. I've also never seen him walk out of this room because I was trying to move around with the mouse and it wasn't working. Okay, this is where I fuck up and try to do the double whammy points thing, and it goes a bit to shit. Anyway, first we climb into the trunk.
On the subject of Quest for Glory 1, or just Quest for Glory in general, if you ever do decide to explore them, you can easily trick out your stats with a number of file editing options. If you ever decide to jump into it and the stats are just like something that really spoils the experience, crank them all up to 100 and just play it as an adventure game, because it's still pretty charming in that regard. I mean, honestly, I find the grind of the stats like weirdly soothing. But if it's not your jam, there's something to enjoy there with just cheating your way through the stats. So
I could be persuaded to do that. Yes. In fact, the first time long ass time ago, I did play a bit of Quest for Glory 1, I think it was the VGA remake, actually, and Richard Cobbett, bless him, sent me a laundry list of things to look out for and try, and just really helped me get into it. And it was a 2-hour stream, and I think I got lost in the woods, and then I went, fuck it, I'm out.
You see, all you have to do is spend like 60, 70, 100 hours in the game, and then you just memorize all those woods. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
I can just close my eyes right now and run from the Spielberg gate straight to Arana's Peace. And there I am. I'm eating magic fruit in my head even as we speak. It's wonderful.
That is beautiful. Now, why I feel this way about a game like Quest for Glory, and not that way about a game like Space Quest, which will also cockblock you out of existence on a number of different ways, the glass being an obvious example, or Space Quest 4, which is just out to kill you at every turn. I don't know why they get a pass from me. I think it's because there are robots and spaceships in them, which also always
helps.
Soothes my inhibitions a bit.
Buxton Freem.
Yes. What a lovely name. Is there a pun in there? Obviously, but is there?
I think that might be the extent. I mean, I think other than that, as far as I know, it just sounds, it has butt and it sounds convincingly alien.
Yeah.
So if there's a deeper meaning than that, I'm open to it.
I think my crowning achievement in everything I've ever done, past, present, and probably also future, is to have Mr. Ken Williams himself read the line, "Shut up, Buxton." He must have looked at that and gone, oh, whatever. oh God. Okay, so this is where we try to trigger the Easter egg where he asks, have you played King's Quest 3? And you're supposed to say yes for an extra point. Let's just skip ahead because that actually doesn't work with this guy. Okay, stop it. Right. I restored it. No, now we've gone through the door and the trunk is gone, and this is where I realized I messed up, that you can't actually... This is not the correct order to do things in. The correct order is, I believe, to go through the vents and then go all the way around and go back down and get in the trunk. But another thing is that I think they actually fixed that in this version, which I wasn't aware of when I was playing this. Could you move? I'm stuck in the elevator now. So all in all, this whole... Okay, let's just fast forward a little bit again because I'm just pissing around in circles. Right, back in the airlock we go. And this time we're going to put... Oh, something else really, really embarrassing is coming up. See if you can spot it.
Uh-oh.
This is one of those things where you go, okay, I've played this game a million times. How did I miss this?
This segment, every time I replay it, I struggle more than I should with it. I don't know what it is about the trunk scenario, but for some reason it throws me.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what was that? Hang on, I didn't notice that the first time. Look at that. You go into the
wow.
You go into the status and it says you should get off the trunk first. Why?
What a very context specific message. I don't guess that exists in the original game, does it?
It must. It must. If you're standing on the trunk, it won't let you look at your inventory for some strange reason. I didn't notice that when I was playing the game. I just went, okay, I'm going to use the knife.
Huh.
Wow, that's a bit weird.
Strange.
Okay, I guess that little thing at the bottom, that little description there, just reads whatever look message the item has in any given circumstance. But that is interesting. Oh, here we go. Trying to get the mouse thing to work. He's doing his calisthenics now. Bonk. There we go. So far, so good. We know to kick the vent. We jarred it loose. And now I'm trying in vain to exit the vent. Is anything?
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly what it is I'm missing here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think I may have had this same problem. I've played this like Space Quest 1 in various versions like 4, 5, 6 times now on stream. I think at least one of them I struggled with this exact moment. So don't worry, we're just getting old, and this is the beginning of our cognitive decline. So it's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah. Eventually we're going to forget astral bodies and Sector HH and just go, oh, I don't remember. But yeah, and at this point I think the emulator is actually broken. That the screen transition is broken, so now I'm going to climb down and go back in the airlock. To my astonishment, it will actually let me exit this grate, so realization dawns in just a few minutes. For those of you in the chat still wondering what the hell this is all about, once you kick the grate open, by the way, the grate resets when you enter the screen again, so you have to kick it again. Yes. Interesting.
Someone came through and repaired it while you're checking out the other room. Sarians are on top of things. Yeah, you may not appreciate their methods, but you can't fault their efficiency.
No, absolutely. And there we go. We've jarred it loose, and now we open the vent, and you don't
there's the solution.
Yeah, you don't kick the vent open. You just kick it loose, and then you can open it.
Roger getting washed into the Sarian costume. Again, a joke that just really played with me as a kid. Like, I thought that was pretty hilarious.
It's cartoon logic, but in the really, really good. I mean, there are some interesting cartoon logic situations in what is otherwise. I mean, what strikes me about Space Quest 1 is that the plot of it is really serious. I mean, your whole star system is going to die, and these evil alien bastards have taken the star generator and all that. But and then the comedy arises from having an inept and lazy janitor be the only one who can save the galaxy. Oh, here we go, full points.
There you go.
So climbing into a washer and then climbing out wearing a uniform is it's one of those little moments of levity where you go, okay, that's pretty funny.
I've recently emerged into a strange phase of my Space Quest fandom. I don't know if you and I have spoken about this, but in recent years, I've decided, I think, and this will be a huge reversal on traditional DecafJedi opinions.
Ooh.
I've decided that Space Quest 2 may be the best written Space Quest of the bunch. I think that Scott's sarcastic humor is sharper in Space Quest 2 than it is anywhere else in the series. Weird hot take. I don't know if we've discussed this at any point, but I've come to a new appreciation of Space Quest 2.
Yeah, I would actually follow along on that hot take. A lot of the messages in Space Quest 2 are just pitch perfect and really have that sort of 2 a.m. in the morning, too much pizza kind of vibe to them, and I love it. 3
They're so aesthetic at times. Like Space Quest 2 is just like, it's mean every now and then. I love it. Again, I don't think the game is the best in the series, but man, if you just want to talk about the text that pops up on the screen, I think it's hard to beat.
It is. And the thing that holds 3 from taking that mantle is that 3 actually doesn't have a lot of responses. It's a very lean game in terms of in terms of responses. Whereas in Space Quest 2, you can try all sorts of different weird shit and get some pretty interesting results out of it.
Hey, Liquid Dill in the chat. Welcome, man. Howdy, howdy.
Dum-dee-dum-dee-dum. Oh, hey, Star Generator. Look.
I love that these aren't context sensitive, really. It's an effort.
Well, that's exactly it. It's effort. It's sort of misfired effort in that you can't really play the game. I mean, it's much faster and easier and more efficient to play it with, the cursor keys and just typing in. One of the truly baffling things is the input button that you see on screen right now. If you hit that, it just brings up the text parser box, which will appear anyway if you start typing.
That's super handy. It's like, it'd be like there's a menu on that said type now. It's super useful to have.
Yes. And I think there's even somewhere in the drop downs, I think it's under special or something, the input command is there again because it's just so useful.
So essential, yeah. Yes. Was the force field green in the original palette, or
I think it was.
Trying to remember. It was.
Pretty sure it was. But the purple shade we've got going here is, which is also really close to the original. I don't know if could you do like palette swapping on a Mac? I don't know how Macs work.
No idea, honestly. Oh. Macintoshes are a mystery to me. To this day, I've never actually used a Macintosh computer. Someday, if I keep computing, I will touch a Mac someday, but not today.
No, and just trying to get emulators to work because I really wanted this to work. So I spent a good chunk of time I could have spent more wisely watching my son grow up. I spent that trying different Mac emulators, and I even went so far as to install Mac OS on like a virtual machine to try and get this to run, and no dice.
Even like opening up a Stuff It archive is at some level maddening enough for me in Windows that it's usually enough to deter me from dipping very far into Macintosh stuff.
Oh, yes. And having to set up a virtual hard drive and oh God. Wow, the file system.
I finally have a nice like Windows 98 virtual machine I'm using for all of those, kind of, as you said, the dark age of adventure games. I have a reliable Windows 98 virtual machine that I'm using for lots of stuff now and having some luck with. That's how I can play classics like that horrible Ace Ventura point-and-click adventure game.
Yes. I think I ran that in a VM as well. Not entirely. It's a lot more effort than that game deserves, to be honest.
It's true. It's very true. That game is one of those strange ones that you get the feeling like someone dumped a whole bunch of money into the production value of it to create that game. You just wonder how that came to be.
Oh, well, apparently the cartoon series was a minor hit, and Seventh Level were, I guess, really desperate to, I don't know, get something off the ground after their Monty Python games didn't really take off. So I don't know. Oh,
who would have guessed those bizarre Monty Python games wouldn't be hits?
They're probably a little too close to the source material for their own good. There's an interesting thing I just showed in the special menu. There's a redisplay last message. Like if you accidentally clear a message, which I think should have been.
That's good. That's actually that's a neat feature.
Yeah. And the retype, which is in the other versions with the F3 button. Oh, use remote control. You'd think that no, you push button, invisible button that's now in your inventory, and boom, that works.
Weird.
Yeah, well, that is how you solve it in the original. Look at panel.
I love dragging the mouse cursor with a mouse cursor.
Yes.
It's a very intuitive interface.
There's just something wrong with this whole scenario. But I kind of like the close up and you know, the arrow being the player sprite and you move that around. That's actually clever. It's time to blow this taco stand. Well, we're coming up to the end.
Great line.
It was so good I had to name a save game after it.
It's worth it.
Yes. Move, go, get it.
I mean, it's
trying to escape.
It's no up the proverbial estuary without a means of locomotion.
Ooh.
But not all lines can be that.
Oh, that is a very, very good one. And it's even, you know, second language and you play this as a kid, you still go, I think I know what he means. I don't know those particular words, but from inference, I think I know what he means.
Yes.
Well, last puzzle of the game. And the it's actually sort of telling. There are a lot of puzzles in just Space Quest games in general that can be solved by just typing press button. And it's very fitting that the game ends with a puzzle where you just have to type press button.
I love in the VGA version that if you fall off here, it does like the goofy Yahoo kind of fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is,
it's also just really satisfying to get that far and imagine Roger just like stepping off of a platform to his death. Like, aw, I made it so far.
Wait, that nebula, the orange nebula, it's a different color in the PC version, I think.
There you have it. Take that, Deltar.
There you go. You've saved the lives of millions of people and killed thousands more inside the Deltar, but they were evil, so who cares?
Evil, every last one.
Every single last one. Even the guy who bought King's Quest 3 on sale at Tiny's Hollow Disc Emporium or whatever it was.
Absolutely. Maybe the most evil.
Yes.
The end.
The end. Thank you for playing Space Quest.
You did it.
Watch for Space. Did you see that? At the on the bottom of the screen. On the janitor. Yeah. It's supposed to say watch for Space Quest 2. Thank you for playing Space Quest. Whoops.
I watched for Space Quest 1.
Wait, where?
Yeah. Just keep watching,
you
can see some more Space Quest 1. You can see the credits, more specifically. Thank you, Scott Murphy. Mark Crow.
Saul Ackerman. Apparently, according to Scott, Saul didn't so much program stuff in as he just sort of he was learning the ropes at the time, so they let him have a go at the parser, and pretty much everything he programmed in, Scott would then go in and fix after he'd left. But
that's fantastic.
But he was a good guy, so he got credit anyway.
Is this Roger Wilco Galactic Warrior message part of the original game somewhere? Is that what I saw pop up? The Sarian Fleet.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah. Roger Wilco Galactic Warrior also shows up in the credits. Oh, and now I'm going to try the debug. Command D actually works. So if I type in drink jetpack, you know, there's the cheat code to change into the jetpack. Now I'm trying to teleport into a room that does not exist. The button says, dang it. and it wants me to quit, but it just goes,
dang it.
Would you like to save your game first? Why would I do that? The game has crashed.
All right. Well, thanks again. And thanks everybody for joining us. Good to see everyone.
Thank you, everyone. And I will have a video out about the amazing journey that is the color version of Macintosh Space Quest for those of you who can't be bothered to sit through this 1.5 hour stream. But until then, thank you, everyone, for showing up. Thanks again to my lovely friend, Jess Morrissette, the DecafJedi, and I will see you around the Chrono stream. Bye.